Hey everybody, welcome. We're super excited that you're here. It is April 22nd and we have the master back office. I mean, he knows the back office, I think better than some people who work at Partner Co. Reese Antley, we're super excited that you are gracing us with your presence and your wisdom, and we're so excited. So I'm just gonna let you take it away because Billy just was going on and on texting me during the Vancouver event saying we gotta get him on here. We gotta schedule him. So we scheduled him as soon as we could, and here he is today. So thanks for your time, Reese. We really appreciate you because we are not in your downline and we are not in your upline. So this is true, blurring the lines of sponsorship. And you let us know what we can do to serve you because we want to help you and your beautiful wife have all the blessings and abundance coming your way. So I'm going to quit talking.
Oh, well, I mean, you guys have already done so much, especially just across the board in Partner Co. I'm looking at all these names pop up, man. What a team of superstars. And you guys have really kind of refocused. It's great because you guys come out of the box, you're doing the system of growth, you're doing it successfully, and a lot of the naysayers can't say, "Hey, it doesn't work anymore," because you guys are proving that wrong, and I absolutely love that. And then you're teaching us so much, and so I appreciate that. And to say that, like, you guys have already done so much for our team. I know y'all have spent time with especially some of our holistic people. Dr. Laura has spent some time, text groups and things like that, not benefiting her at all, not benefiting you guys at all, but she's taken time to really answer some questions that I couldn't. And that's what we love about this. So teaching, the more we can kind of understand this, the more the whole purpose of this training was to take what we have in the back office and how do you make money with it? Originally, I'll go ahead and share my screen. Originally, I would share the reports and I would say, these are the reports. Um, and these are, hold on one second. Let me pop in. There we go. Sorry. Go right there. And I'm sorry, this is not the cleaned up version that Sandy at Partner Co. is absolutely awesome. I did this just real quick. I did this presentation in AI in about probably 20 minutes total, everything put together. And that's where I'll talk a little bit about that because AI can really be a tool. But one of the things I spent a lot of time being analytical is I will spend time in places that doesn't make us money, that doesn't make me money, that doesn't make me and Ashley money. And that can be dangerous. Just like Todd was saying today on the IPA, you think you're spending time doing partner coach stuff, but really you're scrolling through social media, you're getting the dopamine hits, or you're in your back office for analytical people and you're studying your business. Hey, good. But what are you doing to generate income from that information? And so that's why we have the reports. The reports aren't there just to say, hey, here, pat yourself on the back. The reports here are here to say, this is where your business is. This is how you could, here's some different things you can do um, to really generate volume. That's the whole goal of this is to generate volume in the businesses. So that's what these do. I'm going to take you through a couple reports, three reports that really will help you generate some volume. Some generate some, a small amount of volume, but with a lot of people, and then some a large amount of volume just with a few people. So there's going to be some different things we look at. Please feel free to ask questions. I'm on you guys' time. I don't have anything for the next hour and a half or so, so we can talk about it. We can go live and look at certain things, but most of these are all going to be screenshots. And so, what happened when I was asked to speak at Calgary and they, or not Calgary, but Vancouver? They were like, "Okay, we need you to do this back office training." I'm like, "Sure." I always do my back office training with a live account, um, one that we use for training and all that. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. And Kevin was working on getting me a fake account or whatever, but it didn't have historical data. So we were like 3 days out, and they're like, well, we can't do that. And I'm like, well, I'll just use my live account. And they were like, no, because of the laws here in Canada, you can't use live data. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I had to throw together this presentation. And I actually really liked the way it came out. It seemed like instead of me pointing and clicking and hitting some little snags and stuff, it just flowed better. So I hope this flows well. Let me know. Give me some critiques on it. I would love to hear critiques and what you like, what you didn't like. But again, Sandy kind of prettied this up for Vancouver. I don't have that one. I have my original one. But again, this was done in AI, and I'll show you how I do that at the end. So here we go. Reports that drive volume. Let's get rolling. So we're not training on a system training. This is volume. This is how to produce volume, not how to work your back office. So most people, I said, as I was talking, most people when they look at their back office, you may be one of them. You look at your back office, one, you don't really know what you're looking at. Two, you're looking at it, you're overwhelmed because there's so much stuff there. Some of you know what you're looking at, but we're kind of drilling down in the wrong areas, and then some use it appropriately. I can say just by there was just so you guys know, I can tell how many people use the back office when something goes wrong, like the filters aren't working and nobody says anything. And that just tells me our back office is very underutilized, but it has so much power. So, but what leaders do with this is they use these reports to drive volume, to build up your team, to recognize people, to create belief, to start conversations, to meet some of your downline. And this is, I'm just going to kind of take you through how I do it, how we've trained our team to do it, and kind of get around here. The first one, the first report that you need to check every single Saturday is your failed subscription report. You want to check it on Saturdays and Tuesdays. So a failed subscription is totally different than a canceled subscription. There is a report in there called canceled subscription. That one's a little bit more different. That is actual people that went in and said, I don't want my subscription. I'm canceling it. Failed subscription are people that set up a subscription, they are expecting it to come out, but for some reason their card didn't process, their order did not process, so they're not getting it. And there's usually not a notifications. There is an email that goes out, but a lot of people overlook it because it's just a generic partner code email that says, "Hey, there was a problem with your card, whatever." And a lot of people don't even check their emails. Everybody's operating off text. So this is where you can really generate some volume. It's not a ton of volume per person, but it can really grow to be a lot of volume. So on, as I said, these aren't death customers. These are our brand partners. These are people that are expecting their order. And the problem is, and if let's just say you don't let them know, hey, you got an issue, what happens is then when they don't have when they have that issue, they don't get their product a week later, like, well, I didn't get my product, I guess, I'm not worried about it. You can lose those people. I don't have to cancel it, whatever. They kind of put it out of their mind, out of sight, out of mind, and then they fall off. This is one area they fall off, is just because their credit card might have had an expiration date. So again, these people are expecting an order. They've put in their credit card information, they're expecting paperwork, and they're expecting their product. So we want to make sure we get to those people as soon as possible. So how you get to um, that report, you're just going to go to the three bars up there, what you call a hamburger menu, back office. Now, I'm going to recommend this. You don't have this can, we are big about saying you can work from anywhere from your phone, and you can. But when you're in these back office reports, I highly, highly recommend being at least on an iPad or being on a computer or a laptop or something, because the wider you make the screen, the more information will show up. There's so much information you can have. And then I'll show you another way to kind of get around that in just a second. So from on the computer or even on your phone, you're going to go to the hamburger menu. You're going to go, your menu is going to open up and you see My Reports. Under My Reports, you will see failed subscription report. You can even see like there's a subscription report. That's what's coming out. 4 week cycle. These reports are great, but they're not necessarily something that's going to generate a lot of volume. So that's why I spend most of my time training on the reports that are going to generate volume. So failed subscription report. This is what it looks like. Sorry, I've got personal information kind of blocked out, but this was for week 15. Um, so I guess 2 weeks ago. And this was just 1 week. And you can't see how many I had. I think I had 4 pages of people. And here's their order PV: 100, 112, 145. Here's somebody that's just a customer: 50. Here's a box of drops on subscription: 100, 125, 110. That's all volume right there. And out of those people, 9 out of 10 of people, I would say, are going to be like, oh, crap, it didn't go through. Let me take care of that. So you're going to recap. If it's a average of 100 PV, you just grab 900 PV, if you can do that. So what you're going to do, you're going to look in here. You're going to look, okay, here. It's not going to tell you why, what the issue was, or anything like that. So all I'm doing is I'm looking one for their name and their brand partner ID and their phone number, or email, ever how you communicate. All right, I'm going to show you in just a little bit how you can find out who their sponsors and all that kind of stuff. But this, in my opinion, this is a fine way, unless you know that you've got a team member that only likes to reach out to theirs. But you heard Todd talking about tap rooting. That's how you build a business, is going to the next person, going to the next person. If you're a leader and you're protective of your people and you don't want Ann or Todd or whoever going around you to talk to them, your business is going to flail a little bit. When you've got leaders like Ann and Billy and Stacy and everybody that you have on here, Dr. Laura, and then you got Todd. When you've got those people that are willing to pour in your people, man, let them. Don't try to block them. So here is where you can kind of build that depth. So that's what Todd and Brent, that's what he says he does so well, is he works around people. He gets to that next person, to the next person, to the next person, because that's the whole thing. We're trying to help the next person. So what I do right here is I just grab their mobile phone number and I'll send them a text and say, hey, and I'll show you some of those. I don't know if it's on the next slide. Yeah, here you go. This is a high, or you're not selling. They've already been sold. They've already been convinced. You just got to follow up with a nice little message real quick. And here's something you can see. And this is usually what I send, is just, hey, your subscription didn't go through. Just wanted to check in, make sure you're all good. You want me to help you get it sorted out? And generally, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh man, my card expired, or I had fraud and the bank canceled my card. Let me get a new card. They can get that in. They can get their, then now you got 100 PV. I showed Kim Gray this a few months ago. We were just talking about some of the reports and whatnot, and I showed her this report. So Kim and I sat down, went through her report, and she just called people from her Payline side. She just started texting them. She generated almost 2,000, I think it was 1,800 PV in a matter of about 10, 15 minutes. I mean, that translates to almost $300 US into your pocket just by sending out a message like that. So this report right here, why each order is not these huge orders, you're getting mostly 100 PV orders right here. And as your business grows, like I said, I had 4 pages worth. I had over 40 people like that. So when you look at that, you could be up to 4,000 PV in a week that you could read, that you could generate and recapture. And you're also taking that and building a relationship with those people. Hey, somebody's looking out for me. Some people might take it into the way of like, oh, they're too nosy, whatever. That's the 1 in 10. Don't worry about them. The 9 in 10 is what the ones that you're worried about. They're going to say, okay, I want my subscription. I've already paid. I'm doing the business. And hey, look, Ann's help. She's watching out for me. She's letting me know. And then as a leader, if I know somebody's in somebody's certain organization, I do this with Christy Walsh a lot, is I just kind of check hers, because you can run all of your reports. Let me go back real quick and see if it'll show it right here. Well, I'll show it on a different one, but you can go in there and run as downline, and you can run it as anybody in your downline and see what their list looks like. So I might run it for Christy. I did it the first time, ran it for Christy, said, hey, Christy, these are all people in your organization that have failed subscription. Christy goes, as a leader, you can do that for your other leaders that maybe aren't to this point yet. So you can actually send that report out to them, say, hey, call this people, split as your team grows, because you may have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of subscriptions that didn't go through. All right. Any questions on that one?
Hey, so I have a question.
Yes.
You guys
Yes.
put your questions in the chat as you have them. Reese might answer them as he trains, but put them in there. So my question is, Reese, let's say you haven't been good at this, because sometimes I'm good at this and sometimes I'm not good at this.
Yep.
So what's your advice for, like, if you haven't been consistent with checking your failed subscription report, and let's say you check it today, you start making the follow-ups, like, I mean, should you go in? Is there, I guess my question is there a way to go in and look back further than
Yes.
just 1 week and see if those people, if they did in fact put in an order, or like, does that make sense? Are you following me?
Yeah, like maybe they put in an order past that.
Yeah, yeah, like did, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just like, I guess the question is, do you, if you, let's say you did it and then you didn't do it and then you're going to do it again. This is me. So let's say that you've been you consistent, then you aren't consistent. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to be consistent about this every week. I'm going to use this verbiage. How many weeks back should I go? Are you following me?
So yeah, so generally I'm looking at just this week. Now, if I
Okay.
missed a week, I may go back and look, but I'm
Okay.
going to show you a little bit. I won't walk you through the whole thing, but I can do a different training because that's AI training where you
Okay.
can load these reports into Claude or ChatGPT or whatever and
Okay.
literally ask that question, hey, these people missed subscription, are they qualified or not? So then you don't have to go to your organization report and do all that. But if I'm looking back in another week, so I can use that period, hit that drop down, and I can choose any week
Okay.
from the time I started. All right. So if I'm looking at week 14 and I want to see if I'm just starting today, I'm going to go back 4 weeks. So if you're just hearing this, you're like, I should be doing this. I'm going to get on and I'm going to go back 4 weeks. I'm going to look at that before you reach out to them. You can go to the organization report and I'll show you, and you can just search for them and see if they're qualified or not. If they're qualified, they're good. You don't have to reach out to them. If they're not qualified, then you can reach out to them. Hey, I noticed you missed it a couple of weeks ago. And I've had plenty of those people not even realize, like, oh, that was my
Right.
color week. And because they may not be getting paid yet or anything like that.
Right.
So, but they want their product. That's why they signed up. And, very few people actually just let it lapse and don't worry about canceling it. So I'm going to reach out to them. If you want to check an organization report, but you can also load these three into your AI and just say, "Hey, I need to know from my striking distance report, who on there should I be calling? Here's the striking distance report from this week. I need to compare this to see if they're qualified or not. If they're not qualified, can you give me the list of the people? It'll give you the list and their names, which is like literally it changes the game
Okay.
of doing this very quickly.
Okay, so question. So do you do that in, is there a certain AI that's better than others to do that?
So so right now for any type of business process like this, Claude is above and beyond anything else out there. You can actually take, and I'll share this at the very end, but with Claude, you can do what you call co-work, and that keeps that specific. It doesn't talk across devices because it's going to be on your hard drive, but it creates a working folder, and all you have to do is drop these into that folder, into that working folder, and they're automatically uploaded. You don't have to go in there and upload individual files. You drop whatever, anything it creates for you is going to put it in that folder on your hard drive, and
Okay.
then it performs a lot faster. It still goes out and gets information and things like that, but you can confine it to whatever you want to. That's data security as well. But the process side of it and the way that it can think and take multiple tables together and kind of blend all the information as a database and then pull out what you need in a timely manner, Claude is by far the best. But a lot of people already have paid for Chat or Grok or whatever. They can do it. It's just a little to me, I just think Claude, well, I know Claude is better. That like their updates for the business side of things are hourly almost.
Yeah, so I mean, I think so that's the, yeah, so that's what we want to know is for reports, right? Which one,
Yeah.
and you're the one that would know the answer to that. Okay. Well, let's
All right.
keep talking.
Any other questions on failed subscriptions? All right, sweet. All right, next one is striking distance. This is the one most people are using already, but maybe not using it to the point that they really can. This is where you can generate a large amount of volume with just a few people. This is where you're looking for your title advancements. This is where you're looking for people that are on their way to ultimate. This is the report that you will probably spend more time in. I run this report usually on Thursdays and Fridays are the days that I'm looking at this report. Saturday, the day I get up, is when I'm looking at failed subscriptions. Tuesday, also because the company reruns credit cards on Mondays, usually Mondays, Tuesdays. Tuesday after commissions run, I double check failed subscriptions again. And then striking distance are my Thursday, Friday reports because now I'm looking who's close. Because most people don't realize how close they are. And that's what I say. Most people miss what they don't know. If they don't know it, they're going to miss it. They don't know that they're so close. And I think that's a big gap that us as leaders sometimes we may be working with one or two, but there's, as your organization grows, there could be hundreds of people that could just be right there at the cusp of being ultimate or being the next level. And this is what's going to tell you. So your role as a leader is you're not just managing and trying to figure it out. You're to activate these people. You create the awareness. Remember, a lot of these people, when they come in, they don't have a lot of skin in the game. And when you don't have a lot of skin in the game, sometimes you're not as motivated to make things work, to really push through. So when you can do this and create a goal that they can easily obtain and explain how that is, that's how you're going to create some volume through this. Create awareness, create urgency, and then the action's going to follow after that. So to get to that, this is because this one is one that we use all the time. It is in its own little bullet. So when you go to the menu, the hamburger menu, it's going to be the third one down, striking distance. Striking distance, you can see right here. You can see this right here. Your screen size may be limiting the data you can see on this report. You can zoom out to make your stuff smaller, but the best way to do it is just hit that export CSV, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. But it has so much information. Again, you can run as anybody in your downline so you can see what they're seeing. You can change your week to whatever week it is. Now, the caveat to this report is it's only going to show people that are in their first 4 Fridays or people that have payline volume. So if they're getting paid or they're on their way to ultimate, that's the only way you're going to see them. If somebody is sitting at zero and they might even have an optimized power line, but they're no pay line, they're not going to show in this report. So that is one of the drawbacks on this report. But because of the load, we have to kind of limit that and who we have there. But I'm going to show you some workarounds as well. So when I use this report, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm always going to look at that current week right there. Current week, you can see each one of these. Hey, and the thing about these reports, you can't break the reports. It's not whatever you do at this is not going to break the reports. So go in and play with it. You may find something you like, that will help your business better than what I'm teaching you right here. But there's so much information in this report that you don't even see here. There's probably about 3 times this amount of columns that you can pull. Um, but you can see, first thing I'm going to do every single week, I'm on a Thursday, I'm going to click this current week and I'm going to sort it so that my first top week is going to be fours. That's descending. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and then blanks. So what I'm looking for when I look at that current week, I'm looking, okay, I need to get these people to ultimate. And the first thing I see in this one right now, I have somebody that is elite in their first 4 Fridays that's 435 away from getting to ultimate. We know how important ultimate is. So I'm going to look over here at this brand partner's name. It's right here, their ID, everything's right here. You can actually hit this plus sign. In here, it will tell you who their placement sponsor is, also their sponsor, so you can look through that. But if I don't know them, I don't know where they're at, I can go to Tree View and kind of find what organization they're in. Um, I'm gonna show you a different piece too. You can see what line they're in. But with this, I'm going to get a hold of this person. This person's important to me this week because they're only a week away, or they're in there if it's Thursday. So I here today's Wednesday. If I'm looking at this on Wednesday, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm calling this person. We're going to get them. We're going to find them a 10 pack. We're going to find a way to move a 10 pack for them because we need to get them ultimate. So I can look right here and say, I got to get this person to ultimate. Here's people that came in with just drops. Here's somebody that's pretty close to the business level, somebody that went 500 PV. I'm going to be reaching out to all of these and say, hey, what are you thinking? How do you think about ultimate? There's going to be some in the 3 that's going to look the same. That'll be. So I'm going to reach out to the people that are in week 4 and week 3. All right. Inside of this, there is a right here on the top right hand corner, there is a show filters. When you click show filters, you have all of this information that you can filter those lines by. So you can come in here and change your sponsorship to placement, and then you can select, okay, I want to look at just my line two. And who's in my line two? Okay, if line two is a pay line, I can look at my pay line two, and see who is close because that's where I want to generate volume first in that pay line. Um, and then I'm going to look at my power line, and then I'm going to look at the different income positions, all those kind of things. You can look at your current title. Do they have a subscription on? Is that subscription a qualified? Are they getting paid? That's that yes right here. So I'm always, those are ones I use a lot, that qualified. Gold, that comes with ultimate. So usually I'm looking at business level here. So like if I'm looking at, I just want to see who's elite and who needs to bump up. So this is where you can go in and see those people, and you're going to do the same thing in your organization report. So let's say we've got an unlock that happens where we know from unlocked, if you're business level, you need 1,000 PV on the ultimate unlocks to get to ultimate. If you're elite, you need 500. So I'm going to look at all of those people, business level. Are they qualified? If they are business level, elite, or business, or whatever, and we need to get them to ultimate, and I click and they are qualified, I'm going to reach out to those people first and foremost. And that I'm going to show you on the org report. So again, all this you can do, you can look at, you want to see just people that signed up in the last 2 weeks. You can put up sign up date, and it's only going to show you from that sign up date on. You can look at different countries, all of that good stuff. But the thing you're going to be using mostly is current title, business level, and if they're qualified or not. So that's what I use a lot there. All right. So now we talked about the current week. So that's the first thing I do. You can see, hey, here's somebody in the third week that's elite. They need 500 right here. They're already there. I'm talking to them this week too, saying, hey, let's go ahead and get you to ultimate. What do we need to do? How can we do this? And we're working towards that to try to get them that next 500. So that's my first thing. Look at current week. All right. And then right here, the next thing you can see now I'm sorting by points to next business level. Who is close to being the next business level, whether it's business, elite, or whatnot. So you can see somebody right here has 175 PV, 176 PV they need to get to business. That's somebody I'm going to call, especially because they're in week three. But even if they were in week one or two, anybody that is in these low amounts to the next business level. Now, if they're not showing a business level right here, what that means is they're not even to member level yet. They just basically are customers at that point. So I'm not really not thinking about them. They're people that you can go back and contact when you have time. But for time's sake, for what you want to be doing, you want to be looking for the people that are closest. And what's crazy is you're going to click this one day and you're going to see that somebody's only 100 PV away from ultimate and they don't even know it. That is your job. Let them know where they stand. You don't have to go into their volume report. You don't have to go into their back office. You don't have to do it. You can do it all from your own back office. All right. The next thing, let me hit OK real quick. The next piece I'm looking at is what do I need for the next title? So once people are ultimate and they're logged in and they're ready to go, well, they want to, we want to start title advancing them because remember title advances from the bottom create title advancements all the way up through your organization. So we are looking to title advancements create action. When you can call somebody like this person right here, they have already climbed through their current title is member rep, and they've already hit senior supervisor this week. Their next title is manager and they only need 199. I'm like, okay, this person just needs 200 PV, a 4 pack. Hey, put in a 4 pack and you're going to be manager. Here's your opportunity to hit manager. Reaching out to them. You're going to have people that are, depending on what level of what their business or what their title is how much PV I look at. So if somebody that's close to officer, I mean, within 1,500 PV, I'm letting them know, hey, you're only 1,500 from PV. Now, if it's somebody close to manager, I'm not going to be calling them about 1,000 because that's what it takes. But if they're 199, I'm calling them about manager. I'm reaching out to them. Again, when you export this out. You can see who all their people, who all their sponsor is, their placement sponsor, all of that good stuff is going to be in. I'll show you that in just a second. So those are the things. The first thing is looking at the weeks and how much PV they need to get to ultimate. Then looking at people, it doesn't matter where they're at, how close they are to ultimate and when they're going to rank up. And then the next thing is title. All of these things can create volume. When you start, and I think you guys probably already have realized this, when you start, especially probably experience that you have from past, when you start pushing for a title, it fires everybody up. Hey, I want to help so and so. Say this is Ann here. I want to help Ann get the manager. Let's help Ann get the manager. Everybody's going to start like trying to generate volume to help Ann to get the manager. What happens when that happens? Now everybody's generating volume and other people are going to bring up, and it's going to make this report even get better because now you got more people to call. So using those three things, current week, how close they are to ultimate, and then how close they are to the next title. That is your striking distance. That is big time. And so here you go, who's close to rank, who's close to title, who's close to bonus. That's another thing that I did not look at, or I didn't really say that I need to say. You can also look like when you click on pay line volume, it's going to show you all of their volume across their lines, and you can kind of look. That person's going to have some customer volume. You see it right there, 128, 673. That's why it's 199. Um, so with that said, when you come in here, I'm going to be looking also here. Um, who is close to getting that savings bonus. So one of the things I'm going to look at, and this is where I like to grow it out because I like to have this pay line volume in something I can sort because I'm going to look for people with pay line volume of around 1500 PV because that 16, I think it's 1667 PV gets you to the 250 US dollars in base commission, which means you'll get a 15% dump into your savings bonus. That should be your kind of your first financial goal. 250 a week inside of base commission to unlock savings bonus. And that is something you're going to notice pretty quick. You're going to have a lot of people that are within just a few PV of hitting that because there's really no monitor on that that's saying, hey, you're this close to getting your savings bonus. But you can monitor that. Again, that pay line volume, kind of the number I have in my head is 1700, but I think it's 1667 is the exact number. Any questions there?
So I think Valerie was asking for you to repeat that, Reese, about the savings bonus because I think that is a really hard thing with the comp plan for people to wrap
Yep.
their mind around.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm looking for is that pay line volume and that pay. So if you don't know what or don't really have a good grasp of what our savings bonus is. So our savings bonus is in lieu of like a car program. We don't want to put anybody in debt. A lot of times car programs put people in debt. You qualify for a car, you sign up, you say, yay, I qualified for a car. I'm driving this nice car around, but you don't qualify 6 months later and you either give the car back or you start paying for the car. That's not really a win there. So, what we want to do is help people get out of debt. That's why this is kind of built this way. So, once you start making 250 or more in base commissions, so every time you make 250 or more in base commissions in a week, the company partner co is going to take 15% and they're going to put it into an account for you. And that account, once it grows to $10,000, there's a tracker in the back office that shows you as that's going. Once it hits $10,000, they're going to give you a call. John and Darren, Katie, all the corporate staff, they're going to celebrate you on the call. Then you're going to, every event you go to for the next year, you're going to get pulled up on stage to hold the big check that says $10,000. But the best piece of that is the next week, after you get celebrated, you are going to get $10,000 in your bank account. And then every 4 weeks after that, you will get an additional bump, an additional bonus in your check for 15% on top of your base commission, up to $2,000. So many people use that for a car program. Ashley and I use ours for our house payment. So it is a house program for us. I kind of like that better than a car program. So you always want people when they're that close to get that, 15% dumped over, which is about 30, I think it's $33 roughly, when you're at 250 US dollars. So 250 US dollars, 15% of 1,667 PV is $250 US, and then you get 15% of that, which is I think 33% or $33 right there. So that's $33 towards that. And if you're doing that every week, it will start to add up. And then your next goal, what should your next goal be? Anybody got a guess after that 250?
Uh, like to grow it 500.
So that's what everybody says, and that's what I say. But this is where I go back, and you probably, or you're going to be like, yeah, that's what I do anyways. But the next goal is helping the next person hit that 250 goal. Help
Absolutely.
that next person. That's what I've kind of come to terms with in the last little bit. Not come to terms with. I knew that, but that really has built. That really builds. That builds that 500 for you, but it's building 250 for somebody else, and you get them to that goal. If they're making 250 a week and they're getting a bonus drop, man, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and it also really shows you. It really, once I understood, it took me months before. I mean, I was here for a long time before I understood any of this stuff. But man, like that bonus is just, it's fantastic. Like it's mind blowing.
Yeah, how I discovered the striking distance report was that exact Kim. Again, that's back to Kim Gray and I talking. She's like, my thing is, I'm trying to get that 250 in there, make sure my people. I'm like, well, how are you making sure your people? And she's like, there's a report somewhere that shows you. I don't ever use it. I just call my people. So I found it, and I'm like, okay, and that's how I first started using striking distance was looking for those people where the 1667 PV, trying to get them to that 250.
Okay, so so the way that you're identifying that let's just recap. When you're trying to identify the person on your team who's close to the 250 USD, so the 16, so you're looking for pay line volume of 1,667.
Yeah, 1,667. So I'm looking for people that are about 1,500 PV pay line. And I'm going to show you. You want me to show here? I'll tell you what. I'm going to do this real quick. Let's see if I can do it. Is it on this computer that I have my Claude going? Yeah, let's see. So I'm going to pop over to Claude real quick and I'm going to go to Cowork. This is running on mine. This is my weekly um, business analysis. Is this for? Yeah. So I can go in right here. These are some of mine that are loaded in, and
Okay.
I'm going to ask, looking at my striking, which I haven't ran this one in this week, so I don't know if everything's loaded in correctly, but we're going to try it. Looking at my striking distance. Uh,
Who's
who do I have that is 100 PV or less in Payline? And you can create prompts that are automatic and do this automatic. This one's just one I've never used, so I'm just coming up with it now. Or less
sure?
than my pay line volume from 1,667. Let's see what it tells me if it does.
Okay.
It may take a second because I have not used it, but this is, oh, and I've got it on Sonnet 4.6 so that you can actually change this down, and I recommend changing that down to a to the faster model. This is a more in-depth model, so it'll dive deeper.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's finding people within 100 PV of the, there you go. There you go. There's my people and who I need to
oh
call.
my gosh. Okay, you
That
guys.
just went through thousands of
So
people.
Reese needs to get commission from Claude, and but that right there, okay, what I want you to understand, that is really incredible. Like that is mind blowing to me.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till I show you the end of this thing.
Okay, well, keep going. That's
All
incredible.
right.
Oh my gosh,
All
I'm
right.
going to Claude. Okay.
All
I
right.
told you
So
guys. I told you. I just had to say, I told you you're going to be like, OMG.
one of the things Todd's always on me about is quit wasting time on things that don't make you money. And so I had to be real intentional on what makes money, and I blew Todd away with some of this. Like, look, I'm taking what used to take me 4 hours to do, and I can do it in a matter of minutes. And he's like, okay, now you're making money with this. So, and you see, he's using, look at the time that he's using. I mean, you can build a presentation in 10 minutes where it used to take you hours upon hours to build a presentation. But I can show you all that too if you want to see it. But the next piece is the organization report. Why this generally isn't like one that you're going to look at all the time to generate volume. This is the one you're going to use during Ultimate Unlock most of the time to figure out where people are, who you can contact, because organization report shows you everybody in your organization, including your customers. So to get organization report, you can click on the hamburger menu, go to My Reports, and the first one is My Organization Report. Click on that. It's going to pull up just like that. All right. As your team grows, it's only going to load a number of levels. That's levels deep in your tree. So to load more, to load everything, you'll have to click this click to load more. And the bigger your team is, the more you have to click. Again, that is trying to save the processing power of our servers so it doesn't have to load everybody's information all at once. Because imagine if you got Brent pulling all of his, Todd pulling all of his, the Scotch pulling all of his, and pulling all of hers, I'm pulling all of mine. All that information is going to slow the whole back office down, which is why we have some of these limitations. But just remember to go here to click load more. You can search for anybody's name. You can search for anybody's brand partner ID. Hey, and some of these aren't blocked out, but that's okay. You guys can see them. We're in the States. So
We're
anyways,
not going to tell anybody. We're not telling anybody.
yeah, oh, it's all good. So you can see right here, you can hit click to load more. It's going to load, as you do that, it'll tell you once it's fully loaded. You also have your show filters up here. It's going to show you the same filters that we have. So you click that show filters, and then your filters open up. Income positions, some of you guys already know what income positions are. I'm not really going to go into that too detail because most of you probably are not utilizing that piece because that's years down the road inside the pay plan. Your lines, you can use this a lot. So if I'm looking at line 2 and I want to see everybody in line 2, I can click line 2 and it's only going to show me those in line 2. Um, the gold and the whatever the Catalyst Club is the other one. Business level, you'll use that. Title, you'll use that. Qualify, you'll use that. Country's a good one you can use when you're just trying to look at what countries you have or whatnot. But I'm using business levels and I'm using titles and I'm using qualified 99% of the time. You can look at sign up dates, who signed up, especially when they're doing promos, who signed up in this promo time. That's where you use sign. And then you just hit apply filters. You can also choose customer or brand partners, or it'll show you both. So if you're selling a lot from your link, all those people will be here, and the information of what they've ordered will be here as well. All right. Any questions as I move forward in it?
Yeah, my head's spinning.
Head spinning. That's what I'm talking about. My head spins too a lot of times. So, um, I'm trying, and that's why I'm not doing 100 reports and just doing 3. And so you can go back and I'm going to do what I'm doing also just on that note is I'm doing some 90-second to 2-minute clips of each of these things. And we'll take them and we'll break them up. So then if you want to know, okay, it's Saturday, what do I need to do? Well, here's the clip of how you run your fail subscription report. So I'll be starting to roll those out pretty soon. I'm cutting them right now. But anyways, one thing you see right here is you see in the account, you see their number. If you click that, so if Ann was on my team and Ann called me and said, hey, um, I'm close to this title, um, or where should I place this person? Because I'm close to this title or whatever. I can actually click on that number right there, and it will take me to their volume report. And everybody, you should be placing based on your volume report. So you don't have to sign into people's back office to go to their volume report. You literally can just click on that number, and it'll take you to their volume report. All right, it shows you their placement sponsor, their personal sponsor. It shows you their email, phone number, all of that, when they signed up, all of that good stuff. Again, you want to click load to load more people in there. Oh, that one was So what you can do here real quick, and this is where I use it, and going back to the filters real quick, is let's say we have ultimate unlock. I want to know all of my people that are business level business or business level elite. So I'm going to go to business level. I'm going to click it and I'm going to click business. And then I'm going to hit apply filters. I'm also what I'm going to do in that round. I'm going to do qualified and I'm going to do yes, because these are all people working that have a qualified business that are not ultimate yet. So I want to get that. And to be honest, that's only about 6% when you look overall. People that are building is about 6% that in an organization that weren't ultimate, but they're still qualified and still doing the business. So those are the people I'm contacting. I'm contacting those business people because they need 1,000. I'm contacting those elite people because they need 500. This is how you figure out who you're calling. Qualified, yes. Business level, elite, business level, business. And then you have a list of people. And not only that, you have their placement sponsor and their personal sponsor right there. So it helps you know what line they're in. You can also sort it by line if you want to just work on a pay line or anything like that. All right. So I showed you just then on the Claude side, the way to take this to the next level is exporting that CSV. So if you go back, you can see right here, export CSV. When it does that, that is basically an Excel file that things are split up into columns. You load that into chat or Claude like I did, and then you can build all your action plans across it.
Mhm.
So this is what I did, and I'll show you in Claude what I did. You can see on this far left is where I put in, and hey, I need a summary of my business for this week, and it is using this week's striking distance, organization report, and failed subscriptions are the three that I have loaded. You could load others into there, and it literally spit out. Here's kind of some do these today. Here's some things that you need to do over the next few days. And then you got this cool little dashboard it's built of how many people we can week four closers that I need to be on week four with, how many are quick wins that are less than 200 PV to where we need them to get to the goals that I have set in here. So like you see Linda right here, she needs to get to 200 PV to be qualified. She's at 100 PV. Let's see, maybe we can get her qualified 100 PV. It's literally giving me all of that information. You can click on these, and this goes much deeper too. Let's see if I can actually pull that up. Let me go to this. So Claude, here's Claude again. This is working in cowork. So this is stored on my computer. So inside of here, you can see here's the weekly action plan. So if I wanted to, I could come in here and I can say, just something simple. What should I be working on right now to generate volume? Let's see if it'll give me anything cool. I didn't change it from Sonic 6. While it's thinking, I'll show you some more of these. You can see here's the people that I need to be calling that just joined. Here's all the other information. Here you go. It's like it's going to tell me some of the same stuff because it's running off that. I need to be calling by the end of the day. I need to be getting a hold of Popo LeBoy because he's the contact for it. Have this actually programmed in when I prompted this. I told it I want it to look for the leader above the person that is vice president or higher. So what it does is when it looks for the person that I need to text about, like one of these is Trudy or call Risha Adair for Karen, it's telling me that Risha is the closest leader to her that's vice president or higher and that's working. So instead of having to try to go through tree view and all that, it literally is spitting it out. And all I did was give it the prompt of um, leaders are considered those that are vice president or above. And I loaded the vice president, the chart in vice president or above and above them. And so I can ask it for anybody in my organization. Remember, I loaded in mine. So I'm going to say, how many ultimates are in Chris and Joni but board. So this data right here also is manipulated too. I had it manipulate data. So you can see right here how many are qualified, how many total ultimates they have, how many are qualified, how many are not qualified, meaning they hit ultimate and then didn't come back. You can see all of that. Literally any question you want to ask it about,
Reese, can I
you
ask
can
you to
ask.
prompt it? I'm just curious. It said that there was so many people that have gone quiet, that have gone ultimate but gone quiet.
Yep.
So if you were to say to it, well, how could I re-engage those people that went quiet that are ultimate?
And just so you don't laugh at my spelling, because Claude understands me.
There's no judgment, only gratitude.
This is so fantastic.
So the other day I did this and it told me what to let's see if I can find it. Oh, why is it while it's thinking. This one was a good, like this was now give me a this was me telling it to give me my speech on the notes.
Hmm.
You can see all different things. So here's like I was literally trying to figure out the ultimates and R's, trying to figure out the percentage for a speech I did on Saturday. Here's like I'm asking how much more likely based on my data are people 7 times more likely to stick if they're ultimate. That's where I get that information. I mean, literally, it wrote me a speech based on all of this information. Um, I was trying to find, and it, like I said, I was trying to find the one thing like it literally told me that we need to focus on that group. So here you go. There it is. The key thing to remember about this group, they're not new people who didn't understand the business. They went ultimate. They didn't. You see what it says. You're not selling the opportunity. You're waking them up. Start with Chris and Joni, not the list, because we're talking about Chris and Joni's business. So it literally will tell you what the best way to do this based on everybody else that's been putting information and what they're doing and what's working for them. So it's like people are loading this thing with IPAs across all industries, across everything that we do, and we're getting the benefit of kind of putting those IPAs together. So
That's
use the
cool.
ultimate, because remember I had said that hey, you had the ultimate unlock until Friday. This was because this is running on the weeks from Vancouver. So anyways, so here full scale pull list, most re-engagement. That's your biggest pool. It tells you anyways. So it can do all kinds of things. Anything you want, you think you have a question about your business. If you plug in those three: organization report, striking distance report, and your fail subscription's a good one to put in there. Any of those reports, when you put the organization and striking distance in there, it can really go dive into your business and give you some awesome things that you can do. Like I was going to go back to the very top if I can. So you can see here, this is kind of what I put in. This is my prompt. So just so you kind of see what I said, here's what I'm uploading. So just so you kind of can see what I loaded in. And there you go. And then it gives me a full action plan. Then it puts it in that file folder so I can send it to people. If I wanted to create an action plan for Risha or Krista or whoever it is, I can create one for them and send it to them all in the matter of minutes. You're not spending hours doing that. So anyways, any questions, anything y'all want to see?
I mean, this is incredible. What other questions do you guys have? This is amazing.
I see a lot of faces like, what did I just see?
So, so Reese, if you, I mean, when you uploaded these reports into Claude, did you give a description of that first before you started doing this, or like,
Literally, all I did was that prompt that I just put in. Here's my organization report, and one thing that you always do with AI is you want it to build the master prompts the way. So anytime you're doing anything, like a lot of people say, okay, ChatGPT knows me, it knows me, it learns me, all that. It does, but unless you're paying $300 a month, its memory is very limited. So if it's learning your personality, it's actually learning your personality in chunks. And so if you're having a really bad day a couple days in a row, it's going to treat you like you're having a really bad day all the time. So you have to develop master prompts for when you're working on different things. And the great thing about AI is you don't have to know how to do that. You just ask AI, how would I do this to make it the most effective? So if you told it, Dr. Laurie, if you said, hey, I have these organization reports, I have these reports for my partnership marketing business. This is how I see it. This is what I use them for. You load them in, and then you say, ask me questions to create a prompt, the best prompt to utilize this. And it will literally ask you, okay, if it needs something for a field and it says, what does this field really mean? Or anything like this, it will go through and just ask you questions about that. So like when you're in Chat GPT and you just need something and you want it something that you can load in every time so it'll know who you are and how you operate. So like my Chat GPT, I have projects set up in each thing because projects saves memory. It saves everything in, so I don't have to reload. If you just do chat in Chat GPT, you have to always reload. It forgets. Chat will drift. Another tip to tell it when you're doing this, do not drift and don't lie. If you don't know something, say you don't know it, please. Because it will straight up tell you that you're supposed to do this and not do that. Or you may have a manual on something like I'm sitting beside this soundboard I've got right here, asking it questions, and it's running off something. Well, we thought because it was an Allen and Heath, it's going to run the same as this model, but it doesn't run the same as this model. You have to tell it not to drift. Drift is a major problem. It just if it starts to drift, just make sure, hey, you're drifting. Can you come back to where we're supposed to be? It's got its own personality. It's pretty spooky, but it's also, if you use it right, it's a great tool.
I'll tell you something funny that happened last week. I was working on a project for church work that I do, and I gave it some data, some tables that I wanted it to create of our church communities, all the churches that I support. And it went and found some other things, some other churches that we've been doing a walking challenge the last 3 months. It put in some other churches that were not involved in the challenge at all, created a table with Oxford and all these different places. And then I say to it, those are not on the list that I gave you. And then he was so funny. I call him a he. I did a screenshot of this and he says, you're right. He is hallucinating. Chat is hallucinating. Like he literally said, I
Uh,
was like,
it,
what? You're crazy. You're the
it,
one who's supposed to be. It's like, oh, that is true. Those are not on the original list. He must be hallucinating. And I'm like, right.
hey, you have to correct chat. That's all I can say. And that's why, Claude will drift a little bit, but not near as much. So when you're doing
No,
business processes, I highly recommend Claude. If you're creating
absolutely.
more current event type stuff and graphics, things like that, Grok for general is good. For getting information and staying inside information and really chat is really good at that. So you can use all of them. I've tried every single one of them for what I'm doing now. I've kind of migrated now from the enterprise version of chat. Now I'm going to Claude because Claude is a little bit slower in its thinking, but the new Opus 4 point, I think it's 4.6, 4.7 it just, I mean, I think you could see it. I have to relaunch anyways because there's updates every single day. I literally now we're about this close to having the API where it'll talk to the back office directly and you won't have to pull any of the reports. It's just going to have your live data anyways.
Wow.
I use mine a lot for church too. That's that's what I'm actually sitting at my church right now because it tells me how to do a lot of things that I don't know how to do otherwise.
That's awesome.
All right. Any questions? Anything else y'all want to
Your
see?
prompt on that, and make sure you tell me how Jesus would do it.
Yeah.
So good.
Um, okay. Anya, I see your hand up.
Yeah, so I got two questions. First, which version of Claude do you have? Like any Pro, Max, whatnot?
So,
Which one is
so,
enough?
so depending on how much you're using it, the $20 a month one should be fine.
Okay.
If you're using it a lot, then you may need to step up to the $100 a month. There's also another piece that you can do. They're integrated toolkits, what you say, Perplexity's one of them. It has Claude, it has all of your basic models, Gemini, Chat, everything in there. And now it will used to these did not, this is just in the last couple of weeks, used to that you would have to select the model you want to use. Perplexity now, I haven't personally used it yet. I'm going to try some this week. Will actually pick the model best for whatever you're asking it. So Perplexity, you can actually kind of spread out that. It's a cheaper, it's like $30 a month, but you get, if you a la carte all of it, it would be like $20 per every single month. Um, Anyways, so uh, but yeah, so I would say Claude, $20 a month, just the basic version for just personal use would be where to start. And if you need one project that's more in depth, you can use that project or you can buy more time just for that day. Um, or you can, $100 is 5 times more or something like that. Chat GPT, you can the pro version for I think $90 and it's unlimited. It doesn't time out any data on there. So again, it's just what you're using it for. If you're using high functioning things like what we just did, pulling all that data, that does take a lot of the data stream piece from it. So it burns up a lot of the usage. But if you're just running those reports, what I did, and you're just doing those once a day or whatever, you'll be fine with the $20 a month.
Perfect. Thank you.
Reese,
And then the second question, I also put that in the chat. Like, how often do you import your reports into Claude, or do you have it set up in a way that every time you ask it something, it automatically pulls it?
We're not quite there yet. That's the partner code. I've been talking with John and them about letting us have an API call so that we can connect the MCP, which is, I know that's all computer terms, but that will actually connect it to the live data and you can pull it. Right now, what you do is you load it into its specific folder. You can upload it or you can just drop it into, hold on one second. You can see right here, here's my working folder. So right here, all I have to do is drop stuff into this folder, straight into that folder. I don't have to upload it or anything like that. I can go right here to uploads, put it in there, and there you go. I even see I loaded the compensation plan, so it can actually.
I don't think you're sharing.
Oh, that
You
might
didn't
help,
want to
wouldn't
say
it?
anything.
No, you got to watch me. I'm as bad as Todd when it comes to that, I think sometimes. All right, so right here, it shows you this working folder. This is a folder on my hard drive. And you can see this is any outputs is anything it's given me. Here's that full like graphical HTML that shows me. You can build the dashboard out of that. Anyways, that's just an example. But to load it in there, go back to Finder. To load it in there, you just go into your uploads, and all I have to do is download export CSV into this and just replace each one every week. That's what I'm doing right now, but we're not far off being able to. And then I will say this too, John and Troy and those guys, they're working on Allie being able to do the same thing in our back office. So hopefully that's not too far out. And then you won't have to pay for anything. You can just use what we have there.
Perfect. Thank you. That answers it.
Thank you so
I was
much.
just going to ask you if you had an affiliate link. Like, is there a link that you can refer? Because I would gladly.
I have never done that, but I'll ask it. We'll ask it here in just a minute. Hey, is there an affiliate link?
Yeah,
So
ask it.
I hadn't even told my team or anybody here. I haven't even said anything about what I'm doing, but we've been talking a lot about branding ourselves and things like that, going to that next level. So I'm going to start, like Laura Sell, she's all about the Instagram, how to create reels to get people just to come there. Mine's going to be focused more on like these quick clips, how I utilize AI to build my business. Not specifically like, hey, here's Partner Co. here and everything, but everything I'm going to do is I'm building it around Partner Co. So that's kind of, don't steal my idea. I'm going for it. I'm cutting videos right now, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'll have a ton of these videos and I'm going to go through each one of the platforms, each model, and kind of show what they do versus the other one and what's the best for creating your business. And hopefully that draws people in to say, hey, look at
Yeah.
his business just by looking. I'm not talking about how, I'm making this money or I'm doing this with the products or anything. It's just part of what I'm sharing with my AI.
Well, and honestly, we can't steal it from you because this is what you do. It's who you are. And that's the whole thing with the branding, right? It's like
Yep.
Dr. Laura Fortner is an OBGYN and, functional med and DNA mapping genomics functional med doctor, right? So we can't take that. That's the beauty of the branding is that we get to really stand in our greatness and do the things that we're called to do. And you're so great at this, Reese. And it's really extraordinary how generous and giving you are with your time to share with us. So I really appreciate
Glad to do it anytime, and I will be calling in favors. So just
I
get
know.
ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the favors. I'm ready for you to call them in.
I've got everybody's name right here
That's
copied
right.
down.
He's
So
like, he took screenshots of everybody on the call. So,
no, but anytime. I just think it can really push us all forward if we can spend less time doing stuff that doesn't make money and make this where it will make us money. So, anyways,
yeah.
but yeah, anything you guys ever need, and thank you guys for having me. You guys were awesome today. I hope I did not go too fast or confuse too many people or anything like that, but I tried to make it as plain Jane as I can. But if you have any questions as you go through, please don't hesitate to reach out and just ask questions. I'll be glad to help.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Reese. We appreciate you. Thank you guys for getting on. Next
Thank
week,
you.
we're gonna be in Hawaii, so I don't know that
Yeah.
we'll be doing a call next week. So maybe I'll have somebody else do this who's not gonna be traveling. But oh, I can't wait. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Reese. We appreciate you.
Bye, guys.
Have a great one.